He was everything they wanted in a successor. Brilliant, ambitious, precise. Alexander Mitchell had it all. Yet the silence in his penthouse overlooking San Francisco spoke of a different truth. The kind of silence only the deeply wounded could bear. The morning sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows of Mitchell Tech's executive floor. Alex stood motionless, watching employees scatter like startled birds when he emerged from the elevator. His reputation preceded him, the ice prince of Silicon Valley, the man who demanded perfection because he knew firsthand the price of failure. Behind that cold exterior lay a story written in betrayal. 3 years earlier, Lucas Wagner, his business partner, his lover, his supposed soulmate, had stolen everything. Not just the revolutionary ConnectSphere platform they'd built together, but his dignity. At TechCrunch, with investors and press watching, Lucas had called Alex a coattail rider with a pretty face and exposed their relationship before Alex was ready. The headlines still haunted his nightmares. That same week, his parents made their choice clear. James Mitchell, tech titan and patriarch, had stared at his son with those glacier blue eyes. Fix this embarrassment or don't come home. His mother Eleanor had simply turned away, martini in hand, wedding photos rearranged to exclude their only child. The message was clear: their son could be Boris or he could be a Mitchell, not both. Alex rebuilt everything from ashes, carving his place at his father's company through relentless work. The new Quantum Connect project would revolutionize digital connectivity if his team didn't collapse under his exacting standards. 3 senior developers had quit last month alone. Alex told himself it didn't matter. Trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. Every June, as rainbow flags blossomed across the city, Alex retreated. Pride Month felt like salt in wounds that refused to heal. This year would be different, only because he couldn't escape the project deadline loomed too close. In meetings, he spoke with surgical precision, each word a carefully measured dose. People called him brilliant but impossible. They whispered about the Mitchell heir who lived alone in his pristine penthouse, surrounded by minimalist furniture and maximum security. No one knew that sometimes. In rare, unguarded moments, he stood on his balcony and watched normal people walking below, laughing, touching, belonging, and wondered what that might feel like. The Mitchell name bought everything except what Alex truly needed: someone who wasn't afraid to see past his walls, someone who understood that his coldness was armor, not nature, but experience had taught him harsh lessons. Trust was for fools. Love was a weapon disguised as a gift. And family was just another word for conditional acceptance. If you're still listening, know that stories like Alex's aren't just fiction. They echo the lives of people who build fortresses around wounded hearts, who choose isolation over vulnerability. Sometimes the most successful people are the ones most desperately in need of connection. Follow Heart Stories for more journeys of broken souls finding their way back to humanity. The maintenance department operated in the building's underbelly, where polished surfaces gave way to concrete and exposed pipes. Here, Jackson Williams moved with the calm assurance of a man who understood systems, mechanical and human alike. His colleagues called him Jack, and his hands told a story of their own: calloused, strong, capable of both precision repairs and the gentle touch needed to soothe his son's nightmares. Before dawn each morning, Jack would wake in their modest Mission District apartment, careful not to make too much noise. He would prepare Charlie's breakfast, always cut into perfect squares, arranged clockwise on the blue plate Charlie preferred. The routine never varied. Charlie needed consistency. Autism made the world overwhelming sometimes, but Jack had learned to create safe harbors within chaos. The photos on their refrigerator revealed a different life: Jack in desert camouflage, arm around a handsome doctor in military fatigues; Daniel, his late husband, their matching smiles beneath Afghan mountains. Daniel had died 2 years ago, not from enemy fire, but from a rogue infection after treating local children. The military insurance payout barely covered 3 months of San Francisco rent. Jack had taken the maintenance supervisor position at Mitchell Tech out of desperation, but found unexpected purpose in the work. Each day after dropping Charlie at his special needs program, Jack would clip on his ID badge and attach a small rainbow pin to his uniform collar during June. Not flamboyant, just present like the man himself. His team respected him. Not from fear like the executives upstairs feared Alex Mitchell, but because Jack led by example and treated everyone with the same steady regard, from janitors to security guards. His military experience had taught him to assess situations quickly, to recognize when systems were about to fail buildings or people. Mitchell Tech's environment reminded him of units before deployment, tense, brittle. Everyone braced for the next explosion. The source of that tension roamed the upper floors like a caged predator. Jack had seen Alex Mitchell from afar striking in custom suits that couldn't quite hide the tension in his shoulders, eyes that scanned rooms for threats rather than connections. "Dad, why does that man in the painting look so sad?" Charlie had asked one evening, showing Jack a remarkable sketch. Somehow, his 8-year-old son had captured Alex Mitchell perfectly, not just his appearance, but the isolation that surrounded him like a force field. Charlie's autism gave him an uncanny ability to see what others missed, translating emotions into colors and shapes with extraordinary precision. "Sometimes people carry heavy things we can't see, buddy," Jack had answered, amazed at his son's perception. Their apartment might be small, with furniture from secondhand stores and walls covered in Charlie's vibrant artwork, but it contained more warmth than most mansions. Each evening, they would sit together on their worn couch, Jack helping Charlie manage overwhelming sensations through breathing exercises, celebrating small victories like trying new foods or completing social interactions at school. On weekends, they would visit the beach or museums during quiet hours, Jack patiently explaining the world to his curious, sometimes overwhelmed son. What the Mitchell Tech employees whispered about their maintenance supervisor was true. Jack could fix almost anything. What they didn't know was that his greatest repairs happened at home, where he was carefully rebuilding a life for himself and Charlie from the fragments left after Daniel's death. The resilience that carried him through war zones now sustained him through single parenthood in a city that grew increasingly unaffordable for working families. Jack understood something fundamental about strength that many never learned. True power comes not from dominance, but from the capacity to remain gentle despite life's hardships. This understanding would soon become the bridge between his world and that of Alexander Mitchell, whose concept of strength had been forged in very different fires. The server room crisis started with a subtle temperature shift. Critical systems began overheating, threatening millions in equipment and irreplaceable data. Alarms blared throughout the building as Alex Mitchell arrived, finding technicians scrambling ineffectively. His rage crystallized the air around him. Incompetence at every level, he hissed, words slicing through the chaos. "This project represents 18 months of work. If we lose these servers, every one of you loses your position." The maintenance team pressed against walls, eyes downcast except for one man who stepped forward, calm amid the storm. Jack assessed the situation without flinching under Alex's withering stare. "The primary cooling system has failed, but we can reroute to auxiliary while addressing the main unit," Jack explained, already moving toward the control panel. "I need 2 minutes and an extra pair of hands." Alex found himself following instructions, holding components while Jack worked with methodical precision. The crisis resolved under Jack's direction, temperature gauges gradually returning to normal. When finished, Jack simply nodded at Alex, neither seeking praise nor showing intimidation, a response so unfamiliar it left Alex momentarily speechless. "You handled that efficiently," Alex finally managed, studying this maintenance supervisor who met his gaze directly. "Military training," Jack replied. "You learn to solve problems without adding panic to the situation." In that moment, something shifted imperceptibly between them. Recognition, perhaps, of competence equally matched though differently expressed. The Quantum Connect project continued deteriorating despite the safe servers. Key programmers resigned weekly, unable to withstand Alex's relentless standards. During a tense strategy meeting, Jack arrived to fix lighting and overheard discussions of impending failure. Later that day, a message appeared in Alex's inbox regarding project team dynamics, a perspective if you're interested. From J. Williams, Maintenance. Any other employee sending such a note would face immediate reprimand. Yet Alex found himself opening it. Jack's proposal outlined team-building approaches from military special operations, structured communication protocols that maintained high standards while preventing burnout. No soldier left behind principles adapted for tech development. Alex initially dismissed the ideas as sentimental nonsense, but with deadlines looming and no alternatives, reluctantly implemented several suggestions. The project atmosphere transformed gradually, not into relaxed complacency as Alex feared, but into focused collaboration. Teams began solving problems collectively rather than hiding errors from his criticism. Progress accelerated. A tech blog published a scathing expose that week, Mitchell Tech's Toxic Culture, the Ice Prince's Reign of Terror. The article detailed Alex's management style, complete with anonymous quotes from former employees. Though publicly dismissive, privately the words cut deep, mirroring his father's coldest criticisms. Wandering Dolores Park that weekend to escape his thoughts, Alex spotted a familiar figure, Jack, sitting on a bench, watching a small boy paint at an easel. The child moved with distinctive patterns, his focus intense on the canvas. Hearing Jack's gentle laughter across the grass stirred something forgotten in Alex's chest. He observed them unnoticed. This maintenance supervisor who remained unintimidated in crisis, now patiently adjusting his son's painting smock. When the boy turned his canvas, Alex caught his breath. The painting showed three figures beneath a bright yellow sun, holding hands, a family. The simplicity and longing in the image struck with unexpected force. Later that week, Jack found his suggestion file expanded with notes in Alex's precise handwriting. Questions, clarifications, cautious implementation plans. Their exchanges evolved from terse emails to substantial conversations about team psychology. Alex never mentioned seeing Jack and his son at the park, yet something had clearly shifted. The Quantum Connect project began exceeding benchmarks. Team members spoke of transformation, though few connected it to the maintenance supervisor's influence on their leader. Alex found himself watching for Jack in hallways, manufacturing reasons for maintenance requests that required his specific attention. What neither man yet realized was how their worlds were gravity-locked now, two orbits gradually drawing closer. Alex still maintained his fortress of solitude, and Jack still returned each night to his modest apartment with Charlie. But between them, understanding had taken root in unexpected soil, the recognition that beneath different exteriors, both knew something profound about rebuilding from devastation, about systems failing and being painstakingly restored. One component at a time, Pride Month arrived with San Francisco transformed into a tapestry of rainbows. Mitchell Tech's annual charity art gala coincided this year with the city's celebrations, a timing Alex would normally avoid. The company exhibition featured employee artwork auctioned for LGBTQ youth organizations. Participation strongly encouraged by the board despite Alex's objections. Under pressure, Alex submitted an abstract piece, dark blues and blacks, swirling into a vortex, tendrils reaching outward but connecting to nothing. He stood apart at the exhibition, nursing a sparkling water while donors and employees mingled cautiously around him. His father had sent a characteristically brief message: attendance noted, contribution appropriate, minimize controversy. Across the gallery, Jack entered with Charlie, both dressed in simple but neat attire. Charlie wore noise-canceling headphones to manage the sensory challenges of the crowded space. Jack had debated bringing him, but wanted his son to experience art beyond their living room walls. Alex watched them surreptitiously, noting Jack's protective hand on Charlie's shoulder, the careful way he guided his son through overwhelming stimuli. The moment crystallized when Charlie stopped before Alex's painting, transfixed. Before Jack could redirect him, Charlie approached Alex directly, something he rarely did with strangers. "Your painting is too sad," Charlie said, removing his headphones briefly. "It needs yellow. Dad says yellow is the color of hope." The gallery fell silent. Employees froze, anticipating Alex's infamous temper at such directness. Instead, something extraordinary happened. Alex knelt to Charlie's level, his voice gentle in a way none of his staff had ever heard. "Why yellow?" he asked softly. "Because dark colors need bright friends." Charlie replied with autistic clarity. "Like people." Jack rushed forward, apologizing, but stopped short, seeing unexpected moisture in Alex's eyes. The Mitchell heir turned away quickly, but not before Jack witnessed the crack in his carefully maintained facade. The following Monday, Mitchell Tech faced a public relations crisis when an anonymous whistleblower released internal emails revealing discrimination against LGBTQ employees. While not directly implicated, Alex's department showed troubling patterns. The board demanded immediate action, his father's message tersely stating, "Fix this before stock drops further." Meanwhile, Jack received a distressed call from Charlie's school. Several students had destroyed Charlie's artwork, taunting him about having two dads and now just one. The school administrator seemed more concerned about the damaged property than Charlie's tears. Jack left work immediately, heartbreaking at his son's pain. He never expected to find Alexander Mitchell already at the school when he arrived. Alex stood in the administrator's office, his corporate authority fully deployed. "This institution receives substantial Mitchell Foundation funding," Alex was saying coldly, "funding contingent upon providing a safe environment for all students, including those with same-sex parents. I'm concerned our investment is being mismanaged." Jack paused in the doorway, stunned. Alex continued without acknowledging him. "The Mitchell Tech legal team will review your anti-bullying policies by week's end. I expect comprehensive improvements in disciplinary action against those responsible. Additionally, the students involved will personally apologize to Charlie Williams." Only after the administrator stammered assurances did Alex turn, meeting Jack's questioning gaze with characteristic reserve. "Efficient solutions," he said simply, echoing Jack's words from their first encounter. That evening, media outlets reported on Mitchell Tech's discrimination scandal. Jack watched the coverage with Charlie asleep against his shoulder, worried about his job security during company turmoil. His phone chimed with a message from an unknown number. "Your statement would help. No obligation. A.M." The next morning, Jack stood before news cameras, not as a maintenance supervisor, but as a gay father and veteran. He spoke calmly about his positive experiences at Mitchell Tech, about being judged on merit rather than orientation. He mentioned nothing of Alex's school intervention, focusing instead on company policies that had allowed him to care for his special needs son while maintaining employment. The media narrative shifted subtly. Stock prices stabilized. When Jack returned to work, employees regarded him differently, with respect tinged with curiosity about his connection to the normally isolated executive. Alex found Jack in the maintenance office after hours, Charlie drawing quietly in the corner while Jack completed paperwork. Their conversation began awkwardly, but soon flowed into unexpected territory: military service, losing loved ones, raising a child alone. Alex revealed nothing of his own pain directly, yet Jack recognized the language of isolation. Charlie eventually tugged Jack's sleeve, showing a new drawing: three figures again, but this time one tall figure stood protectively beside the others. As weeks passed, Mitchell Tech transformed. New inclusive policies emerged, with Alex surprisingly at the forefront. Employees whispered about changes in their demanding leader, still exacting, still brilliant, but somehow more human. What nobody recognized was how defending Charlie had allowed Alex to finally defend a part of himself long abandoned. Standing up for Jack's son had given him strength to confront his own wounded past, proving that sometimes protecting others becomes the pathway to saving ourselves. Jack collapsed during the routine inspection, his body finally surrendering to the months of overwork and single-parent exhaustion. The Mitchell Tech medical team found dangerously elevated blood pressure and signs of severe sleep deprivation. Doctors ordered immediate hospitalization and complete rest, impossible prescriptions for a single father with no extended family. Alex received the news during a board meeting. Without explanation, he walked out mid-presentation, leaving stunned executives staring after him. Hours later, social workers found him at the hospital, presenting documentation for temporary guardianship of Charlie while Jack recovered. "Mr. Mitchell, this is highly irregular," the social worker began. "Charlie Williams requires established routines in familiar environments," Alex stated with characteristic precision. "His father needs recovery time without worry. I have the resources to provide appropriate care." When Jack regained consciousness, Alex sat beside his hospital bed, tablet displaying real-time footage of Charlie peacefully drawing in Alex's penthouse, attended by a specialist in autism support. "Why?" Jack whispered, throat dry from medication. Alex studied the monitoring equipment before answering. "You once explained military unit cohesion. No one left behind." His voice remained matter-of-fact, but his eyes revealed deeper currents. "Charlie's routines are maintained. Your job awaits your return. Focus on recovery." For 2 weeks, Alexander Mitchell, terror of boardrooms and demanding perfectionist, learned to prepare perfectly square sandwich pieces arranged clockwise on blue plates. He memorized bedtime routines, sensory regulation techniques, and the names of every dinosaur Charlie could identify. The penthouse transformed with Charlie's artwork appearing on previously pristine walls, primary colors against minimalist gray. One night, Charlie woke screaming from nightmares about his deceased father. Alex froze momentarily before gathering the boy into awkward but sincere comfort. As Charlie's breathing steadied, Alex began speaking softly about his own nightmares of betrayal and rejection, of standing alone while cameras flashed and headlines destroyed his dignity. He spoke of parents who chose reputation over love, of learning to live without belonging. "Sometimes," he told Charlie, "brave people still get scared." "Like Dad?" Charlie asked. "Your dad might be the bravest person I've ever met." Alex replied honestly. When Jack returned home, he found Charlie flourishing. Alex had hired educational specialists, arranged for therapeutic services, and somehow managed Mitchell Tech remotely while providing consistent care. More surprisingly, Alex continued visiting after Jack's recovery, becoming a regular presence in their modest apartment, seemingly more comfortable there than in his own luxury penthouse. Through Charlie's innocent observations, Jack began seeing beyond Alex's defenses. Through Jack's unflinching acceptance, Alex found himself sharing fragments of his painful past, the public humiliation by his ex-partner, his parents' ultimatum, the years of isolation masquerading as independence. Jack eventually encouraged Alex to attempt reconciliation with his parents. "Not for them," he explained, "for yourself." The conversation with James and Eleanor Mitchell began disastrously, years of unspoken pain erupting into bitter accusations. Jack's steady presence beside Alex provided strength through the storm. When Eleanor finally broke down, admitting her terrible choice to choose marriage stability over her son's happiness, the first fragile bridge began forming across their divide. 6 months later, San Francisco's skyline provided the backdrop for the grand opening of the Mitchell Rainbow Foundation, a comprehensive support center for LGBTQ+ youth rejected by their families. Alex stood at the podium, Jack beside him, Charlie proudly between them, holding the ceremonial scissors. "This foundation exists because someone taught me that family isn't defined by blood or background." Alex addressed the crowd. "Family means standing beside people during their darkest moments and believing in them until they remember how to believe in themselves." The unexpected appearance of James and Eleanor Mitchell caused whispers through the audience. James approached the microphone, his commanding presence momentarily humbled. "My wife and I failed our son when he needed us most," he stated simply. "Today, we're learning from his example what true strength looks like." The Mitchell Foundation will fully fund this center in perpetuity, helping ensure no child feels as alone as we once made ours feel. Later that evening, in their new home overlooking the bay, a compromise between Alex's luxury and Jack's practicality, Charlie presented his newest masterpiece. 3 figures stood beneath a brilliant rainbow, with the words "My family" written in careful letters. The adults exchanged glances, recognizing how this child had helped bridge their separate worlds into something neither could have created alone. Love arrives in unexpected packages, sometimes in the form of a maintenance supervisor with steady hands and unwavering integrity, Sometimes through a child who sees colors where others perceive only darkness, and sometimes through our own broken pieces, when we finally find the courage to offer them honestly to another. Have you ever found healing in unexpected places? Has someone's kindness helped rebuild what seemed permanently broken in your life? Share your story in the comments below. And for more journeys of hearts finding their way home, subscribe to Heart Stories, where we believe every broken path can lead to beautiful destinations.